What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. In the last episode, we completed the first half of the Skyview Temple, defeated the mini-boss, and got ourselves the beetle item. In this episode, we're hopefully going to finish up the remainder of this temple, fight the boss, and maybe even find Zelda. Let's start, though, by sending off our beetle into this not-so-hidden passageway, because deep within, we're actually going to find a crystal switch that we need to hit in order to unlock the door that's next to that save point. There's actually like a ton of these hidden passageways all throughout this room that we're in right now, along with like the boxes that are hanging from the spider web. So if you want to, you can take some time and explore those passageways, cut down the boxes using your beetle, and you'll probably end up getting like a ton of rupees and various different treasures. I'm not going to bother doing that myself, but I figured I would mention that, you know, in case you do want to take the extra time and collect those things, because it might be useful, but it's nothing that you shouldn't be able to get, like, later on in the game. Anyways, though, let's just run through this room since, there's no point of this room as of right now. Like, we will be coming back through here later on, and that's when that room does become interesting, but for now, we're just going to ignore it, and, oh no, we're locked in. That can't be good. And creepy spooter! Let's just kill that real quick by doing that fatal blow. And yeah, whenever a Skulltula is like crawling around, you can just do an upward strike with your sword to flip it over, and then do a fatal blow to take it out in like one hit. Alright, so you'll notice that two of these eyes are tracking onto us, but there's a third eye in the center, like high above us, and Link is actually too short for that eye to even notice us, so no matter what we do, it's not going to track us the way we are. So we need to do something in order to make Link appear to be a little bit taller. Thankfully, right over here is this crate suspended in air by this spider web that we can very easily break with our beetle, and now we can just like move this crate into position, and the swords will track onto us. Fairly simple. It's kind of funny because I actually talked about this puzzle in the last episode, but I totally forgot that it was actually in this temple. Like, I'm pretty sure they used this more than once in the game, and I was thinking of like a later temple where they use this mechanic, so it's kind of funny that they do actually make use of the three-eye puzzle in this temple as well. Alright, so you want to move this box just about into the center of this room, and then move it forward, I don't know, maybe like 2 pushes, and that should be good for all the eyes to track us. There we go. Alright guys, come on, just look in a circle, get dizzy, there we go. See? Easy peasy, guys. And now we can get this chest. I bet you'll never guess what's inside it, guys. Like the last episode, we had a puzzle with eyes, and inside that chest was a small key. And in this episode, we have a puzzle with eyes, and inside this chest is another small key. Yeah, are you beginning to see a trend? Well, the trend stops here because that is the last small key in this entire temple. Now that we got that, though, we need to make our way back into that main room that we started off in. But here's the thing, like, we jumped down a ledge to get into this room, and we can't climb that ledge to reach the door, so we need to find, like, an alternate way to get through this room again. But if we do just send our beetle loose, you'll notice that, like, deep beyond the foliage of this room is another crystal switch, and if we hit that, it's going to create a way for us to reach, like, the upper area of this room by flooding, I guess, like, the main corridor. So, ta-da! We did it. We're gonna have to get ourselves a little bit wet in the process, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. At least we'll be able to get out of this room and back to, like, the main hub room of the dungeon. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, I can just, like, roll right through. I'm not gonna bother dealing with that Skulltula if I don't have to, so let's just cut down these, I guess, small trees. And now we're back at the door where we started from. Isn't that great how things just work like that, guys? Alright, now believe it or not, we're actually almost done with this temple. There's only a few more rooms to go through, and at this moment, we're pretty much just making our way towards the boss door. Very quickly, though, before we actually make our way to that locked door, yeah, there's a lot of Deku Balbas just, like, hanging around this tightrope. So what you want to do, take out your beetle, and they'll all, like, spawn and activate, and then you can just, like, drive your beetle through their stems, which will instantly kill them. And I recommend doing it for every single Deku Balba hanging from the ceiling, because you might think you can sneak by only taking out the ones in the center, but the ones on the side are pretty dang vicious, so I recommend just, like, taking them out anyways. That way you have a nice, clean, safe path to the door, and you can just, like, sprint across the tightrope if you want to. By the way, yeah, you can use your stamina to sort of walk a little bit faster across the tightropes, although Link does fall a lot easier that way. Figured I'd mention it because I don't really use that all that often, but if you want to move a little bit quicker, that's something that you can do. And oh no, we're locked in again. Oh, this can't be good. I wonder what strange challenges we'll face in this room. Well, it's actually a new type of enemy, so this guy's a little bit weird. He's like a three-headed slug type thing. The deal with him is that you need to kill all three of his heads at the exact same time, or the leftover heads will just regenerate, and you'll have to start the fight all over, basically. So, it's a pretty simple enemy, but here's the thing. I've had this happen before, where you'll do the correct, like, slash, so either like a vertical, diagonal, or horizontal slash, or what have you, to take that enemy out and hit all three heads, but sometimes the motion controls will just decide that, oh, you've only hit, like, 2 of the heads instead of 3 of them, and then, you know, the other heads will regenerate, and you have to start the fight all over again, so it can be somewhat annoying to fight those guys, and they do appear quite often in this game, so get used to fighting them. But if you're patient enough and you wait for the right opportunity, they're really not that big of a deal. Alright, let's use our beetle to, unfortunately, snip the web of this little Skulltula. That way he falls to his ultimate demise in the endless pit that is this room. So let's make sure we sprint across this gap, that way we don't join him down there, because that would be pretty bad. Also, very quickly, there is another shortcut we can create back into the hub room by just hitting this crystal switch, and I have no idea why the beetle like went all the way to the left there. That was kind of odd, but whatever. There we go. Shortcut back to the center of like the temple. Not really all that useful considering we're basically in the last room as of right now. Like, right across the tightrope where the enemy is actually the boss door. So what I want to do here is actually get this guy's attention and hopefully get him to start walking on this tightrope before we go on it. That way, you know, we can do what we did before and knock him down into the abyss below, so we don't have to deal with him as we're walking across. So there we go. So long, friend. Have fun down there. Maybe you can like hang out with the Skulltula we shot down earlier, have like a tea party or something like that. Seeing as though it is an endless pit, probably not, so be very careful going across this rope, guys. You do not want to fall down there, trust me. But alright, we made it across, so right in front of us is the boss door, and yeah, that keyhole looks a little bit strange, and that's because this game doesn't really have boss keys. Like, it has what I like to call boss door objects, so there is an item that essentially takes the place of a boss key that you'll find in the temples in a special chest, just like normal boss keys. But when you bring it to the door, you have to solve like this little motion-based puzzle to actually unlock it. And it might not make any sense right now, but you'll see what I mean in a few moments, you know, once we actually get one of these objects. Now, I actually don't mind this change too much because the puzzles are pretty simple and they do add a little bit of depth to the game. But I can't help but like miss the classic boss key, guys. I don't know why, but it feels weird not to have one. Like, it is such a huge staple in the Zelda series. Just like not having a boss key feels kind of weird to me. That might just be like me. And I know it really doesn't matter considering these objects serve exactly the same purpose, but just because they're not boss keys, it makes me feel a little bit weird, you know? And you guys are probably like, Matt, you're insane. And to be fair, you're probably not wrong. Like, I am the guy currently sitting in my room talking to a video game, so yeah, I got that going for me at least. Anyways, what you want to do over here is just take out your slingshot and shoot down both of these vines because we're going to swing across them and reach the area with the chest that contains the boss door object. You can actually see this chest like as you're sort of entering this room. I just, you know, forgot to point it out. And oh, that was a little sketchy, man. Yeah, you want to be careful on these vines and line yourself up like perfectly with this next vine. Make it so you can like barely see where it is, and that should be like the perfect setup. So hopefully we can just like make this jump. Oh my gosh, it's always super sketchy when you're jumping from like vine to vine. I swear you can never really tell if you're going to make the jump until like after you've already hit the jump button, and then it might just be too late. Thankfully, we survived and rolled right into this chest, so let's open this fancy boy up and get ourselves the golden carving is what it's officially called. Again, I just like to call these the boss door objects. So now that we got that, we can pretty much just make our way back over to where the boss door actually is, unlock it, and then go and take on the boss of this temple. So get excited, guys. Like, I'm pretty excited, but also kind of apprehensive about this fight because it's a fight that I know I've never been good at. Like, to be honest, there are some fights in this game that I know I'm just going to be abysmal at, and even though this is like the boss of the very first temple, it's one of those fights already. So I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope that I do a good job, but you know what, if I mess up, it's just because I've always been bad at this fight. Alright, so let's do this. As you can see, all we gotta do is line up the figure with like the hole, and that's really all there is to it. Like, you just gotta rotate this one to the right just a tad, and it pretty much lines itself up. So there you go, puzzle solved, and now we've opened up the way to the boss chamber. Let's go inside and take on the boss of Skyview Temple. Oh man, here we go, guys. Look who it is. I thought that tornado I stirred up would have tossed and torn you apart, yet here you are, not in pieces. Not that your life or death has any consequence. It's just the girl that matters now, and I can sense her here, just beyond this door. Yes, we plucked Her Majesty from her perch in the clouds, and now she's ours. Oh, but listen to me, I'm being positively uncivil. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the Dmon Lord who presides over this land you look down upon, this world you call the surface. You may call me Ghirahim. In truth, I very much prefer to be indulged with my full title, Lord Ghirahim, but I'm not fussy. Did you really just draw your sword? Foolish boy. By all rights, the girl should have fallen into her hands already. She was nearly ours when that loathsome servant of the goddess snatched her away. Do you have any idea how that made me feel inside? Furious! Outraged! Sick with anger! This turn of events has left me with a strong appetite for bloodshed. Still, it hardly seems fair, being of my position, to take all of my anger out on you. Which is why I promise up front not to murder you. No, I'll just beat you within an inch of your life. Alright, so here we go, guys. Our first fight versus Dmon Lord Ghirahim. Now, say what you will about Ghirahim, but I actually think he's one of the best Zelda villains and Zelda antagonists in, like, the entire series, because he does something no other villain really does, and that's, like, mess with you on, like, a psychological level, because he's so off-putting and so creepy that it actually makes him more intimidating than, like, any other villain to date in the Zelda series, and that's why I love Ghirahim so much. Just look at him, man. Like, sure, he does look like, the kid that's trying to be way too edgy, who's just coming out of Hot Topic wearing some fresh new guy liner, but, like, he does not even care at all. He's blocking our sword strikes with 2 fingers and just, like, walking casually towards us. So obviously he does not even see us as a threat, and he's only using like a fraction of his power to fight us right now. So that's pretty scary, and I'm glad we're not fighting this guy at full strength. Now his AI is also pretty good at blocking your attack, so yeah, getting hits on him can be kind of difficult, especially since, this is where, like, the motion controls not tracking your sword accurately all the time come into play, and it can really make, like, fights like this more frustrating as a result, because I'll tell you guys right now, like, I'm actually trying to do, upwards diagonal strikes, but they are just, like, not registering for whatever reason. It's probably because, like, I'm trying to go from all the way up to, like, down and then up in such a quick movement that the game just, like, can't keep up with where my sword actually is. Anyways, though, looks like we made it to phase 2, and this is where things get a little more tricky, because now Ghirahim will actively try to attack us. So when he does these weird projectiles, just do the proper slash to reflect them back at him. Then, when he charges at you, you can do a shield dash to parry his attack and get some free hits. Also, he can teleport around, and if you're quick enough, you can actually, like, target him again after he teleports and get some free hits on him that way. So there's a lot of things to keep track of in this fight, and I have no idea why my sword, like, didn't swing down, because I totally did the movement. And please, Link, turn around. Oh my gosh, what? I don't even know what happened there, because I was just, like, swinging, but I wasn't actually swinging. I was trying to turn around, so I have no idea. This is, like, going really, really bad, by the way. I really hope I don't die in this fight, because that would be utterly embarrassing. Like, I knew this fight was going to be, like, hard for me, because it always has been, and that was just my fault, so I have no excuse for that one. I just did, like, the wrong slash. But, yeah, I always knew this fight was going to be a problem, because I've always had trouble with, like, any fights like this in the game, where you're heavily relying on, like, the motion control just, like, tracking you perfectly. And I don't want to blame the motion controls too much, because obviously there is, like, some skill and patience involved, and obviously I could improve in that regard, but a lot of the times it just feels like I'm getting cheated out of, like, my attacks, because the game just isn't registering them. Anyways, though, we do need to be careful. Like, he should be almost done, but yeah, if he lands just a little more damage on us, we could be in a very bad spot. So I'm just really hopeful we can just take him out in, like, the next hit or two. There we go. Sweet. Well, you put up more of a fight than I would have thought possible out of such a soft boy. But don't clap for yourself quite yet. That sword of yours is the only reason you still live. I fear I spent far too long teasing and toying with you. The girl's presence has all but faded from this place, which means there is no reason to linger here. Goodbye, Sky Child. Run and play this time. Get in my way again, though, and you're dead. Alright, so there we go, guys. Since we did defeat Ghirahim, we get ourselves our first heart container. Now, that fight could have gone a whole lot better. Like, in the future, I'll try to, like, get better at the Ghirahim fights, but just know I've always struggled with those fights, so I don't know if I really can get better. But there we go. We got ourselves our 7th heart container. That should refill our life, too. Yeah, there we go. And Ghirahim did say that, like, Zelda's presence has faded, but, this door, like, is glowing now, so might as well pass through to the other side and see if we can find anything helpful in, like, locating Zelda's whereabouts now. And I've actually always liked these, post-dungeon segments, if you will, because you enter, like, these really serene and peaceful areas, and, you get some really nice cutscenes with Link and Fi that are almost, like, intimate in nature, and they sort of remind me of the cutscenes that take place between Sheik and Link from Ocarina of Time. So it's pretty cool how this game sort of captures that same tone and displays it here with Link and his companion. Anyways, though, there's a miniature statue of the goddess, as well as a Hylian crest, or, well, I guess a Skyloft crest, considering Hyrule hasn't been established yet, but you know what I mean. Anyways, let's just raise our sword skyward and hit this thing with a skyward strike. Master, I have a message written in the language of the gods of old. Allow me to translate for you. From the edge of time I guide you, the one chosen to carry out the goddess's mission. The spirit maiden who descended from the clouds must travel to 2 sacred places to purify her body. You stand in one of these places, Skyview Spring. The other is known as the Earth Spring. This second spring is hidden away deep within the scorched earth of Eldin. The Spirit Maiden, ever mindful of the heavy task entrusted to her, has set out for this second sacred place. And with that, guys, we got ourselves the Ruby Tablet, very similar to the Emerald Tablet that we obtained back in Skyloft. Master, as I just translated, it would appear that Zelda purified herself in the waters of this spring. I calculate a 97% chance that she has already set out for Eldin, where another great spring exists. However, it is not clear what method of travel Zelda used to move from here to her next destination. My analysis suggests you should take the tablet to the altar in Skyloft. Doing so will likely open a new column of light on the surface, allowing you to descend to another area and continue your search for Zelda. The bird statue that transports you back to the sky should be in the forest you previously passed through. Alright, sounds like a plan. Yes, thankfully the game is nice enough to let us out right at the entrance to this temple, and hey, it's a Kikwi! What's going on, buddy? How ya been? Hey, it's me, Kui. Did you find the girl? Not yet. Aw, that's too bad. But it sounds like you at least know where you need to search next to find her, Kui. That's something, right? I suppose you're right. I am so glad I've finally been reunited with all my Kikwi friends. It's all thanks to you, Kuweep. Don't mention it. With any luck, hopefully you'll find that girl you've been searching for real soon, Koroku. Take care, okay? Alright, not really sure why that was even included, but whatever. So I guess like our next major goal is to go back to Skyloft. That way we can open up a new pillar down to the surface and find Zelda. But you know what? We're going to do that in the next episode. So if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.